This video is probably going to be a regularly scheduled recommendation that Don Quixote is in fact a really good book. But one thing I wanted to discuss about it real quick is people cry a lot in that book, and it's actually mostly the men, which I think is really, really fascinating because Cervantes, he's writing, several centuries ago in an extremely chauvinistic, male-dominated culture, which is Spain at the time. And it's really fascinating to read the book and just see men crying as a normal, like a completely normal event. Like it's not special. It's not like they don't draw attention to it. They just note that it happens. They do it for all sorts of reasons. It's just constant, and it's not even limited to specific characters, like highly emotional or unemotional ones. Because it's like Don Quixote obviously has a lot of satirical elements, but it's not just Don Quixote. It's not portrayed as an unmanly thing or as anything. It's just part of life, is that people cry. Because it's like Don Quixote does it, Sancho does it, but pretty much everyone does it. At some point, like not every single character, but it's just characters from every walk of life will do it on one occasion or another. Things are acknowledged as being sad, like farewells, saying goodbye, even when they're going to see each other later, or friendships, like even hearing a sad story. It's just normal. And I just think it's really interesting to note that this centuries-old text, albeit a very great one, can have that, and how like incredibly more sexist cultures than ours can have a healthier view of male emotion than us. So maybe they aren't. It's like it's hard to. Both our cultures are just incredibly sexist, I guess is probably the takeaway. I don't know, but yeah. Because, it's knights, it's lords, it's nobles, it's peasants, it's everyone. Everyone has a right to cry in Don Quixote. And that's just something I noticed when I read it a couple years back. And another reason to read Quixote. But anyway, I just wanted to bring it up just because emotions are good. And they're part of our heritage as a human. And that includes crying and sadness, which... y'all should know as I'm a crybaby, but I don't try. It's like I've decided to not run from that. I still do, but it's just something worth noting because there's obviously a lot of push otherwise. But yeah, knights can cry, lords, ladies, men, women, children, elderly. There's a lot of good reasons to cry. Cry for happiness, cry for grief. And just it's part of experiencing life to its fullest, I'd say, is just letting yourself feel what's happening and not shoving those emotions down. None of this is a hot take, but I just wanted to share this about Don Quixote. It's one of the things I like about the book. It's just an interesting thing about it. So take care. See you all on the flip side. This has been Desert Theorem. Au revoir.